Hello everybody, my name is Kenneth and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video we are going to be checking out Tumoreaubaitugether's newest release, Minisode 6. Before we get into this reaction, some housekeeping words. Firstly, there are two tracks on this release that I'm not going to react to in the video. One is a Morse code, it's very short, like maybe 7 seconds long. I did listen to it in my own time. And I did see that from the comments, people have said that the Morse code spells out the word tomorrow. The other song that I will not be checking out during this reaction is, I think it's a remix to Deja Vu. I'll be checking out the main version, obviously, in this video. We'll be doing the music video for that, but I will not be doing the remix. So we've got I'll See You Tomorrow. I'll See You There Tomorrow, the Deja Vu official music video, Miracle, The Killer, and Quarter Life. So that's what I'll be reacting to in this. Also, final thing, pause warning. I will be pausing, rewinding, going back, forward, whatever, to discuss things as I see fit in my reactions, so I can give my thoughts. And yeah, if that's not for you, that's absolutely fine. I'm sure there's a reactor out there for you. But without any further ado, let's get into I'll See You There Tomorrow. Okay, so we're already straight into it. Okay, so far it's a really like minimal, bare bones accompaniment. Just at this part we start getting like I think like a hi-hat from the drums, but it's so far it's very kind of simple and soft, I think is the word I would use. So far we've got lyrics that are talking about I think soulmates. So maybe romantic, maybe platonic. There's also this element of childhood friends with Taehyun's lyric, because it's this kind of idea of maybe Taehyun is speaking of a character, or maybe even a characterization of himself that is anxious or scared of something, and this other person is almost there to kind of leverage that anxiety and kind of keep it at bay, and kind of stabilize him. That was nice. Their vocals are all really soft as well. We're getting into like the vibe of this is turning into like house music with that kind of synth kind of pattern that's going on in the background. Originally I was going to say it sounded a little bit maybe like arcade kind of styling in the way the synth sounded, but now we're getting into that more maybe 90s house kind of style, maybe UK house, I'm not sure, but that's the kind of vibe I'm getting. Sorry. I'm surprised at how long this is kind of... Oh, okay. Yeah, this is like house, drum and bass, maybe light. Oh, I like this. Oh, I like this. So that's the hook for this song. It's interesting how long this hook is actually going on, by the way, because I expected like the 2 times, and then I kind of thought it would go back into the verse. So you had "There'll be no more sorrow, I'll see you tomorrow," then repeat, and then back into the verse. Just because of the kind of way musically it sounded like it was going to go back from that kind of bigger sound comparatively to like a smaller sound. I really like this. I'm going to go back though. I'm going to go back really quick. I love that run. Yeah, it fills out a little bit here. I like that this song is clearly about, you know, having that connection with someone that you can rely on. You know, I was talking about soulmates, but, you know, again, you can have platonic soulmates. I really enjoy the kind of idea of having this goal, location or place or time or whatever in the, you know, and having this almost be like a sacred space that where like no negativity can come in. There's no sadness, there's no negativity. Did I already say negativity? There's no, but you know, there's no negative emotions. And you've just got this kind of almost pure place. Because you know, the title is I'll See You There Tomorrow. The there is non-descriptive. It could be anywhere. But it's that idea that wherever it will be, so long as I am there and you are there, you know, we can almost make it our own place and kind of conquer anything. Yeah, I really like this. I think this would do really well as like a single in the UK. Ooh. Okay. Nice vocal sample. It's really interesting just on a kind of structure note. Because you've got like your verse and your like pre-chorus into the chorus kind of thing. In that you change from one member to the other in this kind of sectioning. You start with Subin, then Taehyun, and then Hyunin Kai, and then I think Bongyu did the kind of what I would describe as like the maybe not a pre-chorus because it's not drastically different in the overall musical tone, and then you've got I think it was Yeonjun that started the chorus, but the sectioning of the structure is very interesting because I feel like with the chorus lasted a lot longer than I thought it was going to, because I'd classed the Yeonjun part up until the hook, the repetitive hook part. I'd class that whole thing as the chorus. Some people might just class the hook section as the chorus, and the part before that as the pre-chorus. But I think because of the way musically it's sectioned, and the way that you go from the verse accompaniment to this like more filled out accompaniment, I'd say the whole thing up until the from the Yeonjun start to the repetitive hook line, it makes more sense to categorize the whole thing as it, because it's not dramatically different enough or transitionary enough to kind of say like, because for instance a pre-chorus might in other songs like have a section and have like for instance a rising sound that like builds hype or tension before it's like resolved by the chorus, you know, whether it's an explosion of, you know, of an accompaniment or anything like that. Whereas if we take Yeonjun's part as that start of that pre-chorus, it doesn't do that, so it doesn't feel like a pre-chorus. It might be officially, I don't know, but I personally would deem the start of Yeonjun's part to the repetitive hook, which is really catchy, to be the chorus. But it's interesting, as I said, so it's longer, but then it goes into this vocal sample, instrumental section. I expected, just because of the way it was sounding to me, I wasn't expecting the instrumental section. I thought we were going to get the verse into the kind of pre-chorusy maybe section, into that chorus section, and then back into the verse, because the accompaniment is very simple so far, in that again, the differences between the verse and the chorus, it's mainly that kind of house bass, I think bass, but certainly synth sound, and the drums that make that big contrast, because for most of the verse, it was very much just the single synth by itself as the accompaniment, and then you slowly again added the hi-hats, and then built from there and there the synths, and then the drums in the chorus. And so I for me personally, and I've been rambling, I definitely feel it would have made maybe expectationally more sense to go into that. So it's interesting that it didn't. But I really like this vocal sample. I like this bass that I'm hearing. Interesting. We keep the drums, but we fade out that bigger sound. It's a keyboard of some kind. It sounds maybe like a clav, I think they call them, the sound, or an organ. I think maybe an organ. But rather than like one of those more churchier sounds. I say churchier sounds because they church organs often use the kind of more drone-like sounds. It's more of one of the kind of shorter drone, shorter drones, shorter notations, and shorter organ types. I don't know what each organ type is, but it's very quick sounding. So it's da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm probably getting the notation wrong, but it's da-da-da. But it's the idea is that it kind of leaves almost as quickly as it enters each time the motif is in the background is played. Whereas obviously if you had one of those more churchy style organs, it would have a longer kind of bleed out of the sound. I like the way that it's almost like what they've done is I was going to say what we've got, and then I was going to say what they've done, and I kind of messed that up. But it sounds like what they've done production-wise here is started with, kind of the basics of that organ sound and the vocals, added the drums in, layered the drums in, added that more housey synth sound, and then it's almost like they've done that intentionally to build the mood up. So here, the verse carries the mood from the chorus. So we had like almost like a reflective first verse into a kind of hopeful chorus, kind of hopeful chorus sound. And now we're talking here in Taehyun's line. We've got the imagery of a wheat field. The idea I can just imagine in my head, like childhood friends running through it. You got golden hair. That idea, kind of Goldilocks. Nursery rhyme idea. You've got the idea of again childhood in that. Because obviously when you think of golden hair, you think of vibrancy, youth, versus the connotations that are associated with if instead it said grey hair, you'd expect more of a not an old figure, but an older figure kind of thing, maybe a more experienced, less innocent kind of person. And so it's interesting the way that we're going through this particular structuring of the song. I'm sorry, there we go. So this one, so we're slowing down now. I'm going to go back. So we're slowing down right now. But here with Bongkyu's lines, there's almost this story of maybe childhood friends or soulmates or whatever you want to call them. You know, maybe even romantic, young love. And it's this idea maybe that they have grown up. So they're the lines about the golden hair and the running through the wheat is more of a reflective kind of line, rather than simply what is happening now. So it's this idea of maybe Bongkyu is singing about a character or characterization of themselves that has grown up, and maybe they have maybe started to kind of go their separate ways a little bit. And so there's that hopefulness that that closeness will kind of reassert itself, which when you have a relationship like that, it makes a lot of sense with that kind of not wanting to risk fracturing anymore. It's that kind of idea of like, where are you? I never see you anymore. And then suddenly these two people that were, the only people that were equal to one another. And I'm just thinking back to that first verse with the word tame. It's when I say equal, I feel like that's really at odds with the with that lyric, just purely because taming something suggests that there was an imbalance there. And you could associate it with that kind of friendship where one friend takes care of the other friend. You could absolutely do that, but it's almost like there's a dependence there, in this relationship. So that sound, that's what I meant about building that tension. Oh, that was nice. Interesting, like, harmonies there. I don't know if it's just the way that it's produced and like mixed, but it almost sounds like the way I describe it. The way I describe it is the harmonies come in, but it's almost like, if you imagine like a recording studio, you've got the mic, and so you've got Subin kind of leading the vocal, but then I feel like I hear Yeonjun and maybe the other members. I'm mainly saying Yeonjun because I can hear Yeonjun's texture, like vocal texture, but it sounds to me, the way it's produced and mixed, it almost sounds like, rather than just having Subin here like this, the other members, or certainly Yeonjun, but let's assume all of the members are doing background vocals here, rather than them also being around the mic but at a certain distance, it almost feels like they're going in and then coming out and going in, on the vocal line. Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like they're going Yoki, as they're going in, and so it's almost giving that kind of. It's almost like a stair. To me, it's like a metaphor of a stair harmony. Like, rather than just having vocal harmony, it's almost like a stair up to the harmony. In my head, that's how I imagine it. Oh, that was nice. Oh, what was that? Oh, no, but what? It was like a run. That so. Oh, that. Hang on. It's almost like it was a combination between saying like "hey hey," and going uh-huh at the same time. Because you could hear like a H maybe at the beginning. But then like the vowel kind of goes from hey to so rather than hey, it's hey. I don't know. I'm like, but that was really interesting. Like the way it's kind of delivered is it's almost like that's used as the transition. See? And then yeah, the musical elements change. I love this vocoder. I like the way that we filled everything, like we pulled everything out and then we're slowly building it out. Ooh. I love the way, sorry, I keep hitting my mic, but the way it started bringing it in and you know, you could easily think that like it's building it up for like a final, like wabam, like in the chorus. And then Subin comes back in. And then it's like it pulls everything back out again. So we got your drums. You've got this rising sound, and then everything fades out. Oh, I like this. And you can hear it. There's like a cutoff effect on one of the it's either a synth or a pad. It's like that kind of sound is what I mean. I know I'm not a synth. It's great. But you've got this kind of pulsating is the word I would use. Almost as it's, you know, pulled out and that's pulsating back in. As it starts to take. I'm assuming we're going to go into a final chorus and potentially, maybe it will be like a even like harder hitting chorus maybe. So here you've got this start pulse starting. I'm just hearing like the bass, I think. Oh, that was nice, that little note change. Oh, okay. Interesting, because I didn't know if we were going to get... Because we could easily have kept this with the vocal chops, I think that's what they call them. With the vocal chops. They could have kept this whole vibe and then put the chorus on top of it. So it's really interesting that they've decided to structure it like this, where you have that big build up and then it's almost like you just let the song carry it. Now there's only 14 seconds left, so I'm going to assume it's going to carry it to the end, but it's a really interesting decision because it's almost that idea of carrying yourself to tomorrow. So I'll see you there tomorrow, but obviously tomorrow's got to come. So it's almost like saying like this is almost like the flow of time. Interesting at the back there's like a sound. It almost sounds like maybe sinister. So first thing, I really like it. I think it's a really strong song. Kind of musically, it's not a song that hits you really hard. So like if you're like putting this on like to listen to like the album, it's not like it comes in like it's too loud or it's like, you know, it's not designed to shock you. It sounds very easy listening, which isn't a bad thing, because it allows kind of the listener time to acclimate. Like if you imagine like this is the first song someone is hearing, they're not MOA, they are not aware of TXT, and this is the first song. And you don't necessarily want the first song to hear to be bombastic and in your face. Sometimes you do, but there's this element of kind of building you up, and they do that very well throughout the song. They sounded great. I really, really enjoyed the way that they did some of their runs throughout this. It was really, really nice. And again, that Yeonjun little run riff between that section before what I would describe as the middle eight. I really enjoyed the way they did that, because this song uses a lot of not unconventional but different things. Like you've got your kind of conventional tension drone sound, like I said in the pre-chorus to the second chorus. I think that's where I said it. And you might expect that. But the way that they approached this song, it was very, very different in the way they did it. Did different sections, and I really liked that, actually. Again, I said this earlier, I think if this was a single in the UK rather than a K-pop song, I think it would do really well. And I say that because obviously a lot of people still don't listen to K-pop. It is what it is. But the kind of, especially the chorus, I could see that being played at a lot of club nights and things over here. So I think that's really good. I guess my last thought, I like when pop songs in general do this. You've got this almost it's not sad, but there's melancholically reflective lyrics in the song. I don't know if melancholically is a word, but we're going to use it. There's tinges of sadness and reflectiveness looking back at this relationship between these two people. But it's quite well disguised by the kind of, especially the upbeat part of the chorus, but by the sounds that are chosen and the key that it's in. As well, obviously, I mentioned how, I know I said that was the last thing. This is just an extension to that. But obviously, I talked about how the vocals were very soft. There's not any kind of element of anger in the lyrics. When I think it was Bomgyu said about hoping that the person would come by. There wasn't like an angriness to it. It wasn't like, I never see you come round kind of thing. It was, I hope you come round, or even like maybe I hope you come round, or I know you'll come round, because that's just how we are. And so I think tonally that makes a lot of sense. If you've got that kind of synergy with someone and that kind of rapport and relationship, where maybe it's even a representation of that kind of low maintenance friendship where you can go weeks without talking to each other, and then you come back and you're like a house on fire, and everything just works and makes sense. But I really enjoyed this. This was a great intro for me. I'm pretty sure this was track 1. As I said, I think maybe after Deja Vu is the Morse code song, or Morse code track that I'm skipping. I think I tried to put this as much as I could into the album order. So I apologize if it's not, but that's the way I'm doing it. I kind of followed the track list I found on online. So we're gonna head into Deja Vu, and we're gonna react to the music video version, just because there is a music video version. So yeah, let us get into Deja Vu. Okay, this is new. I was expecting like the Hive logo. Interesting. Do we have subtitles? Well, we do have subtitles, and I'm sorry. Since some things are precious but invisible to the eye, we forget them as life passes by. Oh, that's a really nice little poem. With the rhyme. Okay. interesting setting so far. Not even, we're not even into the song yet, but we're in some kind of red-toned world. A barren or desolate location, and we've got these very large CGI horses or ponies. That one looks more like a unicorn, but I don't know if that's just because this one, or maybe they're all unicorns and that, I was going to say, I thought that was hair, but maybe that's kind of the horn has lost its strength or something. I don't know. Oh, he looks so good. I like those earrings. Okay, this is pretty. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna turn this up a little bit. But this is the piano, but there's like something else playing on top. So yeah, you've got this electric piano going He looks so good. I know I said it before, but he looks so good. They all do. Hang on, is that Beomgyu in... That looked like Subin in that... Hang on. So we got Hyunjin there. Hyunjin there. Hang on. Is that Subin? Or is that... Can't tell. I think that's Subin. And then we got... I think it's Beomgyu in... Sorry, the clip's so quick. That looks like Beomgyu in like a... He's almost like in a fairy, like Tinkerbell kind of light. Sorry, I said I pause. I do pause a lot. Yeah, you got this. Ooh, okay. I love the texture of this synth. Oh, and there's like a whistle. Ooh. I love the way, I love the way we all only really ever have, so far we only have one member in the shot at the same time. So like before you had, transitioning to each member, not all the members, but each member that was in a shot. And then here, we obviously start with Yeonjun, and he's on his own. And then when Hyunin-kai comes in, you don't see Yeonjun's face fully, and then it starts to go kind of into Hyunin-kai by himself, kind of thing. I love this sound though. I don't know what Enamoya is. Ooh. It's almost like I said like fairy tale, kind of fairy Tinkerbell look, because of the sparkles. But in this kind of shot that comes up, it's almost like a godly figure, or like a holy figure. Okay, I have heard a little snippet of this song, not all of it, but just that little snippet there. Oh, that outfit though. Oh, that's a cool outfit. Oh, the styling. I love this song. His eyes. Oh, okay. I like that like fading to black quickly cut. Oh my, can we talk about this look on Subin? Can we talk about it? It looks so cute. Ooh, okay, that art style really, you got the very real elements of the individual flower petals, but then you've got this this digital tear that's forming into a river, and it's almost like he becomes like a natural like landscape element. Like you imagine like him being a hill that the plants grow on, and like the waterfall into the river, and all that because of how he's feeling emotionally. Ooh. These outfits. No. It's also interesting the color scheme throughout this video with regards like in the beginning you had the I think it was a pig. I could be entirely wrong. But this animal at the beginning it has this similar color scheme to the tears. Is it a pig? Hang on. I feel like I need to be. No, is it no, it's like is it like a cat? I just assume pigs with the color pink. It's almost like a cat. Sorry. These outfits. Okay, these I know I'm talking we're talking about album stuff and song stuff, but this is incredibly well styled. I love these lighting fixtures, the way that they create this gradient on the walls, and it makes them, and I don't mean any offense when I say this, it makes them look kind of sickly, which the reason I say this is because it works with these lyrics about falling, about being amid ruins. It's such a contrast here, because yes, there's sadness in here, but they're talking about clarity, and obviously clarity is very clean, very pure, and so it's and the colors kind of match that. You've got these beautiful golden tones, and this beautiful white highlights from the from the lighting and stuff, and they look radiant, like their skin tones. Even though you can't really see either of their faces, you can see their skin tones look really radiant, compared with the kind of change in lyrics here. I love Terry. Don't look at us like that. He looks so good. I love the way, again, when I'm talking about like radiance and clarity and purity and all that jazz. Look how good he looks, and not just like how like handsome he looks and attractive he looks as a person. Like he's a beautiful human being, but just the way that everything he's wearing synergizes and helps kind of bolster that radiance. I love the idea of like when you're struggling, that could be the kind of the ruins that they're talking about in the song. But there's always a place in that ruin where that they can go to kind of hide from the world, and protect themselves from the elements. And I love that that kind of comparison between, and that juxtaposition between the metaphor of a place with a relationship. So far, these two songs are very much about pairings and having at least one other person, or another person to rely on and be supported by, and it, just the way it's kind of presented, it's almost like a mutual reliance. Some people might think it might be one-sided, but it's not. both parts of the relationship need each other, maybe in different ways, but they both need each other in equal amounts. I really like it. I just want to watch the choreo again. So I love the way that we start here. After Terry's bit, we start upside down, like tears, and then we go kind of into the idea. So it's like it kind of matches the way that the shoes in that shot versus this shot. It's almost like the teardrops kind of falling. And again, you know, linking back into the lyrics, that idea of falling or struggling. And then the kind of outfit decisions, fashion decisions here. You've got these elements in kind of, I think, yeah, at least it looks like all of the members have an element that looks like that, at least one element that looks like this. And it's almost like a string wrapped around or a bandage or something. Maybe this idea kind of something holding you together, and holding them together. It's a very interesting styling though. Again, that crying. Sorry, I'm just going to... Sorry. My neighbors decided to enter the video. It's such an interesting contrast here with Terry. You've kind of got, with Taehyun, you've kind of got the visual representation of someone waiting at home for someone. Like someone comes home late, you maybe not with a candle, but you know, you wait up for them with like a lamp on or something, to kind of almost like a lighthouse to guide them home. And then obviously this choreo bit feels like that idea of multiple moving parts working together, and that kind of strength in numbers aspect. So even though each of the members has something that's broken or struggling for them, you know, you could say like, oh, I've hurt my foot, I've hurt you know, whatever. Each of the members then has someone to lean on, and you know, it creates a perfect kind of picture, which works with the answer lyric. I love that idea of using the bus here with that lyric about the future, because it's the idea of taking a journey. Obviously I said with I'll see you there tomorrow, the kind of end of that song, it sounded like they were allowing the song to carry itself to its end, to the tomorrow. And I like the idea here with this kind of coach, the idea that they are seeking out their own future, they're seeking out their own journey, which is this person, but they're showing, using the bus, the journey. And I think it's very intentional. You've got all this fog, you've got all of this arid land with nothing on it. There's no animals, there's no color, you know, it's black and white, and all of that with mixing with the kind of the fog here. You've got this very much real idea of an unknown future. You know, you're going towards, in general, something you don't know. But for here, the members are not like that. You know, they're saying, my future is you. You know, it's very kind of declarative. It is you. And so this idea of this kind of already worn road that's going out, it's like kind of the only certain thing. You know, you've got all of this fog, could be anything, could be losses, could be loves, could be, you know, whatever. You've got this kind of struggles, you know, with the terrain around them, but you've got this clear-cut path. that says like I'm going to you. I love that. Did we need these beauty shots? Did we need them? Yes, we did. Sorry, I love the kind of simplicity of this shot. It's giving like you went round to a friend's house, or like you were running away from something and you went to your friend's house and was like, can I stay over for the night? I need to get away from this. I need to get away from something. And then your friend's just like, yeah, here's my blow up mattress or whatever. Also, it's interesting. I just wanted to say I noticed the back of here, the you've got this same kind of texture clouding as you've got to the unicorns at the beginning of the music video. It's all very intentional, the kind of art style of the CGI. I can't tell you what the intent is, but it's all very... Because you could easily have made it like cel-shaded or hyper-realistic, photorealistic. But they've gone for this almost... It's almost like Mario cloud style. Like the kind of clouds that you'd find in like a Mario game. But like one of the newer 3D games. It's that kind of texture they've gone for. Which kind of almost like creates like maybe a fantasy element to the story. Sorry, I've gone back a lot further than I meant to. Oh. Wait, did Bomgyu have a piercing? It looks like he... Oh my god, it looks like he has a... What do you call that? Underlip piercing? Either that or it's glitter, but I just want to say the makeup looks in this video, 10 out of 10. Ooh. Okay. Oh my god. So, first of all, you've got almost like painting, sorry. So you start with that kind of art gallery scene and then you move into this and it looks more like a painting. Like the waves look like they're drawn more than they're actual like real waves. Even like Huninkai's arms, you know, you can see like the shadowing. It looks like it's like drawn with like charcoal pencil and then like blended out or something. Like he doesn't look real. I mean, he doesn't look real anyway. You know, they're also, you know, perfect looking, but like he really like looks like a piece of art. Like you could like imagine this like a part of a painting on a wall. I love the change, and then the way that... Ooh. I love the way Yeonjun is attacking those dance moves. I love that. I love that pose being used as a transition. I was just thinking, I like the idea with this song being called Deja Vu, the idea of feeling like you've seen or experienced something before. I love this idea where they're almost writing their future because of almost like the inverse of that feeling. Because of that feeling, you know, they're imagining them being a bride, you know, whereas Deja Vu would be seeing them, you know, before. It's almost like when they look at them, they can see the person that they will be in the future, and kind of how, you know, rather than Deja Vu, as it normally is, it does feel like it's kind of turned on its head in that way of seeing into the future, and everything is predetermined in this relationship. And it's that idea that they're so familiar with each other. It's almost like they've already been married and already had this life together and already had, you know, struggles and supported each other through those struggles. I'm just going back to this. I love this. I think, if I'm right, this scene, I think there was Instagram photos, like concept photos, and I think one of them was maybe, I might be wrong. I might be remembering wrong, but I'm sure I saw a concept photo that looked like it took place in this kind of scene. I love the way that the clouds are purpley, you know, it's not just your basic white clouds. It's very, it's you got almost like orange tones down here, and then like it goes into purple. Oh, beautiful. And I love the way that in this scene, it's almost like a religious giving to someone. I'm not religious personally, and you know, but it's that idea of giving yourself in that similar way as maybe like a religious person would give themselves to their God or their the person that they believe in as part of their religion, and I really like that. Again, you've got this kind of rough kind of looking terrain around him, showing like it's that idea of like when religious figures go into like solitude and places that are hard to get to. It's the idea of struggling to get to someone or to somewhere in order to show someone their affections. I love that they're running backwards here. It's almost like they're maybe sharing a first glance at each other, and you know, these two people, and it's almost like they see the future, and then it's that emotion of running. It's almost like that feeling of winding a tape back and seeing everything rewind, and then eventually it's gonna like maybe hit that first meeting or whatever. Again, with the way that Beomgyu looks in this scene, I think it's Beomgyu. The hair reminds me of Beomgyu, and the kind of facial features you can see make me think it's Beomgyu. But again, you've got this very almost sacred kind of aesthetic to him. You know, everything's kind of white and pure, and again, you've kind of got like, he looks very ethereal is the word that I think I meant to say earlier, but he looks very ethereal. He looks more than human. He looks like something more. Interesting end. So are we saying that Beomgyu saves him? Are we saying that... Oh, hang on, no. That's cute. Oh. And we've got all the color. And all the... Oh, this is cute. This is a cute ending. I love this guitar synth combo at the end here. I don't know if that's actually part of the song. I just want to go back to this again, because I love the way, even just the kind of the movements of Yeonjun and Beomgyu, the way that as he's pulling back, he's kind of, it's not like just a fall back. It's almost like a, so when you fall, you don't, and you're caught, you almost like bounce a little bit, like you reverberate, and that reverberation like seemed to like mirror like the way the music came out. Yeah, the reverberation of their bodies kind of. I love this. And I love this hug. It's so... again, it's giving it's giving like a religious figure that has, you know, met their deity, or the representative of their deity, and Bomgyu is this kind of representation of that, and almost that comforting kind of hug of like, you're not alone, you know, I'm with you. And then there, you know, in terms of like the relationship, it's almost that like parallel of the kind of maybe this first kind of sight or whatever. It almost feels like acceptance between them both, accepting like that they can see each other in their own futures. And just from like a TXT point of view, it's almost like, especially because obviously we have the members come in here, it's almost like you could read into the idea of it being that the members themselves were always meant to be together. You know, the relationship and bonds that these guys have with each other was almost written in the stars and always meant to be. And I love that idea. And I love that we've moved here into this kind of, you know, the space that looked kind of, with the coloring, it kind of looked almost like hopeless and, you know, desperate. And now it's turned into a much like more pleasant scene to look at. And it's almost like we've gone from that scene with those scenes with the van, the car, the coach, whatever vehicle it was, bus, coach, but whatever, from that scene where you had this clear cut kind of thing, and now that the members are together, it's almost like you could read it as like there's no set path, we're gonna all go together, you know, because they all run together in the same way. I love it so much. I love it. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. That's already in my head. I can already hear it like replaying. I can see why I think it was the lead single, and I can definitely see why. It's a really well crafted song, and I really enjoyed it. So far, this is my favorite out of the two songs that we've heard so far. But I can't wait. We're gonna carry on and go into Miracle next. Now the rest of these songs, before I go into them, I only have the lyric video for. I don't know if there's music videos, but as I'm recording this, I've not seen any music videos for any of the three songs. I know that there's a performance video, I think, of The Killer, but I'm not sure where that's uploaded, so I don't want to risk including that in this for the kind of copyright there. Also, just speaking of copyright, in case there is anything, let's just make sure we get the big hit logo in there. Okay, so next we have Miracle, and the photos that have been chosen for this lyric video. I know I didn't comment on them in the other videos, but they're very much giving vampire vibes, you know, with the way that their eyes are. Okay, I'm going to turn this up a little bit because it's a very low sound. It's almost like a toy piano, or like the sound of like a toy or something when the batteries are starting to run out, which is an interesting sound. Ooh. I love the texture of this. Okay, already this song is already like, it feels like this might be my favorite song. Just the way this song is, it just, I don't know, it just feels, I don't know. I love it. So I was thinking with the way that these guys look in these pictures, they gave off vampire vibes. And then Subin saying to me, who was afraid of tomorrow's sun, you were a candlelight in the darkness. It feels like leaning into those kind of vibes with this song. The idea of using the idea of being afraid of tomorrow and linking it to that kind of that vampiric inability to go into the sun. And then I just imagine when with the line about candlelight in the darkness, I just imagine like the sconces, the torches in a castle. I just imagine that, and the idea of like late at night, like walking with like one of those old style candles. You know that it has one of the rings that you can put your finger in and then kind of carry it. Sorry, rings, and you can kind of like carry it like that. It's almost like as well, so far just between Yeonjun and Subin, it's like they're each talking about different struggles, but at the same time, the same struggle. Yep, that's true. You can have everything material. You can have everything material, but if you don't have anyone to share that with or someone to spend your time with, again, even a friend, or some family or something, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, this is my favorite song. This wins. Okay, no, this wins. I'm going back. What the hell? I love this. I'm going to turn it down a bit, though. Turn it down a bit too much. Whoops. Hang on. I love this. The guitar is creating this really strong, like, musical foundation underneath it. And even, like, the drums are, like, they're really... What's the word? They're really... commanding is the word, lead that groove. Oh, I love this. And just the contrast between this part and the chorus. I love the shouting. 1, 2. I love that. I'm gonna go back. I love the idea of the song being it's almost a celebration of life so far. You've got these struggles. Subin talked about being afraid of the future. Yeonjun talked about being stuck in a maze, not knowing which way to go. You could interpret that many different ways. But I love the way this chorus is celebrating life and that getting to the next day and carrying on and existing and moving forward. And I love the first thing I thought about with the kind of the 1 and that kind of group shout and the 1, 2, if you're ready, 2, so 3. The first thing that came into my head was the countdown for New Year's. When you think about like New Year's Eve, you get this kind of hype, and you put like an event to that final 10 seconds. You count down to the new year, and I love the idea with this chorus that they're not just doing that with like in that kind of it's just once a year, celebrating the new year coming in. Instead, it's an everyday thing, and they're celebrating every new day and every new day that they're living and existing and doing things. And what I think I love most about that is, again, they're sharing that with someone. They're going, if you're ready, and let's count. It's almost like let's count down together. I love this chorus. It feels to me like mid 2000s to mid 2000s, so 2005 to 2009, 10 pop rock to me, because it's not rock and it's not just pop. And I really, back then, I really enjoyed that kind of pop rock genre, and I love that with this chorus. I'm just gonna go back. And there, where they talk about you have to close your eyes to see tomorrow. To see tomorrow, it's almost like tomorrow is a gift. So when you think about miracles, yes, they're often things that you can't explain, and things like that. But miracles are often things that we would see as gifts, and it's it's that idea of like having a birthday gift or having a Christmas gift or something like that, some kind of gift. And it's the idea of like, close your eyes, otherwise you won't get your gift. But it's that idea of saying that the actual aspect of tomorrow is a gift. And I love that. I love that so much. I love it. This album has been really about taking things as they come and trying to move forward in spite of any struggles that you're having, and finding the positives, like in Deja Vu, finding the place in the ruins to be. And I'll see you there tomorrow. There is that kind of tomorrow again being, like something good to look forward to, moving towards something. And I love that the songs so far have been this positive kind of thing, or have this kind of positive take that you can kind of infer from it. I love it. I'm gonna go back here again. I also love with that part of the song, I know I'm going back, but that part of the song, I love the idea. You can almost like parallel the lyrics with the music. So you've got this idea of some, all these different things, fame, money, fortune, all these things. And you can attribute each bit to like a part of the music, whether it's the vocals from Bomgyu or whether it's the actual music and the accompaniment. But there's like a hollow space between them where there's no drums and there's no like wider part of the accompaniment. It's just those kind of more minimal elements and the vocals. And then the chorus is this moment where people are together, and it's this kind of like, we're celebrating tomorrow, counting down to tomorrow, and then it fills out, and it's that idea of the chorus feels like like it's its own time, where it's like, I have people to share my things and my loves and my fame and fortune with, and that, because of that, I now have meaning. And you hear it in the music. You've got the drums with that very strong keeping rhythm time, and you've got that filled out accompaniment. Like, there's very little space, if any. Compare that to the part that Bomgyu just did beforehand. There's very little space between those vocals and that accompaniment, where you could say there's an emptiness. And so it's like they're filling themselves, their existence and their life with people that matter. And I love that. I love the way that you've got, Bomgyu leading this little like chanting la 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 section, but behind him you can hear the members doing the background. And so it's, even though it's, he's the main like vocalizer of this part, it's again reinforcing the idea of he's not alone. He's got his members, he's got his family with him, at least part of his family with him. And it gives that very simple. You know, la 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 is it's very simple. Saying it like that, very but when you do it like this with the kind of wall of sound that's created, it creates a wall of sound that is strong, and it creates and has this strength to it that makes it's almost like a safe place at this point in the song. I love them sharing experiences that they've had. So with Bongyu and Taehyun here, the favorite song we shared, the new mask I made on a bicycle. All of these things, it's the idea of like remembering the good that happened, and it contrasts with this part because while there's the kind of positive aspect of sharing warmth, you know, to make a cold winter day hotter and warmer and more comfortable and bearable, there's this kind of sadder aspect that by yourself, though, you know, you can't get through those cold winter days, and it's sad, but it's that reminder that like, so long, if you can find your people, if you can find your family, your home, you can make it through those harsher days, and then you can go into the part of that Bongyu and Taehyun saying, where they're talking about the memories. You can't make memories by yourself. You know, if you're all alone. Sorry, my headphones are really irritating me today. But if you're by yourself, the experiences you can have in your life are very limited because, you know, I could climb like Mount Everest or the tallest building in the world. But what does that matter? Like, if I don't tell anybody, or if I don't have people, like, for instance, cheering me on to climb that mountain or climb that skyscraper or whatever, I just climbed a really tall building. I just climbed a really big rock. You know, it doesn't mean much, but it's these things, you know, that sharing these things, and that's why I think it's important that you see, with this line, the favorite song we shared on the Dimly Lit River, these things by themselves, yes, you can enjoy your song by yourself. Yes, you can enjoy a dimly lit river by yourselves, but you can only do so much in life and exist in life by yourself. You need, and we all need, at least some amount of interaction and with other people, not only to really make those experiences matter, but also because in truth they do kind of impact our well-being and our livelihood, and that in itself is a miracle, because it's such a simple thing, sharing an experience, sharing a song, sitting somewhere, you know, having a special spot. It's such a simple thing, and yet it's so important and so wonderful and magical. And I love that idea of finding something magical and something more in something so simple. And of course that's important too, you know. It's always there will always be a tomorrow, you know. And so it's very, again, it's such a simple thing, but I love the way that they're celebrating something that does always happen. There's always a tomorrow. I think this is my favorite song so far. I love the contrast between Taehyun's voice in this chorus and Yeonjun, I think it was Yeonjun, in the first chorus, because obviously all the members have distinct tones, but it's incredible, like hearing the different warmths and different emotions that you get from hearing each member. I feel like with this, it sounds. It almost sounds like he's giving everything, and I'm not saying Yeonjun doesn't, but it's the way his voice goes. That tomorrow, the way the row part goes, it's almost like his voice is lifting out of his chest. Almost like it's like if you could separate a voice and like have a voice just floating around, it feels like almost that happening. And I love that contrast between the two there. There's almost a grounding if Taehyun is rising. When I say rising, I mean that kind of idea of floating, and that disconnect from the, you could argue the negative stuff. You've got kind of Subin grounding that, and obviously again you've got the group vocals, but you kind of got Subin's vocal texture kind of recenters it, and it's almost that kind of idea of when like you let yourself go, and then that kind of person that's like, okay, now it's time for the actual event, let's go. And brings all that back in, and focuses it. That's the important part, focuses it. Because I think it was Hyunin Kai that did that part in the first chorus after Bomgyu. The contrast between their voices is so nice as well. And I think where they are, because I'm assuming we're going to get like a middle eight or something, just because song structure. I might be wrong, but just based on song structure, I feel like their voices work perfectly for the time that they're used. So I'm gonna wonder if there's either going to be a really strong middle eight section, or like a really like strong isn't the right word, but energetic, I think, kind of maybe instrumental. Interesting. There's an instrumental, but it's not. It's building up. Okay, so something that I've noticed about Hyunin Kai's voice versus Yeonjun's voice, they're very similar in terms of, obviously I'm not saying they sound alike, but the kind of qualities to their voice are very similar. But with Hyunin Kai, I've noticed, and maybe it's the contrast I saw with Subin and Taehyun earlier as well, obviously, but with different textures. Yeonjun's is lighter, and I don't mean it's higher pitch, I mean it's just lighter, and like, again, almost like you're floating, whereas again Hyunin Kai, and because that's why I kind of corrected myself with energetic rather than strength. You've kind of got with Hyunin Kai a grounding, a strength, and kind of a heavier tone. It's how do I explain it? It's like it has a weight to it. It's almost like, the way I describe it is like Yeonjun's voice is kind of like a dandelion, like when you blow into a dandelion and it floats away. And whereas Huening Kai's is more like, if you take that same dandelion, he's more of the stem that stays strong as you blow on that dandelion. That might be that no one might understand what I mean, but it's like you've got this kind of idea of like a oneness. Yeah. This part doesn't just sound like Huening Kai. I know it only says it's Huening Kai, but I hear Yeonjun's vocal tone in this. Maybe it's in the doubling and the tracking. I really like the way that ramps up and then does that little and then like fades out at the end. You can kind of hear it here. Like the drums are like signaling like this is the end, and then boom. I really like drum tracks in songs because they often set the pace, or if they're not there, kind of suggest something is missing tonally, and I really enjoy the way that drum tracks in songs, and especially like in this song, it does lead the song to its conclusion, and it's almost the conductor of the song, and it regulates the flow of it. I really like that. I also really like the way that they describe it as a long-awaited miracle, because obviously when you think about something as simple as tomorrow, especially as we've already said, tomorrow, there's always a tomorrow. But I like, again, the way that they take this simple thing that happens every day, there's always a tomorrow, and they put so much reverence and love and affection towards it. And even like just the way Bongkyu's line of, I feel like, oh wow, thank you. That idea of being grateful. I'm grateful for getting to this point, and I'm grateful for making it to tomorrow. That there's often like a negative take with the idea of tomorrow, the idea that tomorrow never comes, and I like in this song that you're hearing the positive side of that. Instead of saying, oh, like tomorrow's never here because it's always today, they're saying, no, I got to tomorrow, and then I'll get to tomorrow again and again and again. And I love that idea of getting, being able to say like I'm living every day, because it's really inspiring. I just realized I've been talking for like over an hour. So we're going to go over to, I think these are unit songs now, because we've got Yeonjun and Subin, and then after that we've got Bongkyu, Taehyun, and Huening Kai. So let's go into the killer first. I'm going to try and keep these short. I will admit that I do know with regards to the killer, regards to the killer, Subin said that either him or Yeonjun said that the reason that they were in this song was because they were more seasoned than the other members, and I love that description of saying that they're older and that they've more experience in things, and being adults and doing adult things. I don't know why, it's just really satisfying. But let's get into the killer. Oh, I like the guitar so far. Sorry, I wasn't. Sorry, I was too busy in my own world. Tame me? Excuse you? Excuse you? Oh my god. I feel like a Victorian person clutching their pearls. Oh my god. I'm trying to keep cool while I'm listening to this and watching this, and these lyrics though. You know, we had in the first song the idea of being tamed, but this is a completely different tone. You know, this is a very much a sexual kind of taming. You know, the idea of submitting to someone. Because you can't excuse that and say like friendship. You can't. I love this idea. And I love how this idea is being explored over this very sensual but simple beat. It's very much that once you're in a relationship and you're past that honeymoon stage, but still having the honeymoon stage and still having that in spite of disagreements and arguments. Oh, I hope you'll... Oh. You're like a fever that makes me sick. I hope you'll finally get rid of me. That's an interesting contrast, because usually the person that has the fever wants to get rid of the fever, but instead it's almost saying that he wants the fever, and that they want the fever, but the other person that is the fever, they maybe think that they don't want it or something. Interesting. I love that, because it is a really true lyric. You know, I love you is said so many times, and you know, but saying I belong to you, it has a whole different depth of meaning, because it's not just like I'm showing affection to you. It's more like every little thing I do, you know, even breathing down, you know, down to blinking, everything that I do is because of you and in service of you. Which, you know, could be a kind of toxic thing, but in this way I don't see it as such, but it could be, you know, if you took it, you know, if it was a different kind of song. But this song feels very much about giving yourself to that other person so completely that your existence is tied to it, but not in a bad way. Oh, I like this. Oh, hang on. I love that. It's almost like it's almost like a rolling kind of texture to it. It's like an echo, but it flows so smoothly between each kind of vowel syllable. It's so smooth between them. It's almost just like rolling. And you could take that as like rolling around with someone, I guess. But I guess it's that idea again of like, because I've given myself to you so completely, if you were to stop or to send me away or anything like that, you would be the killer, because you're killing me in that moment. And then these lyrics, oh my god. Oh my god, so not even just like the fact that like I am obsessed with you and I you know, I'm beholden to you. It's even deeper than that. It's like I'm so insignificant because of my love and affection for you that I am part of you. You know, if they say they're melting, it's almost like the sweat on that other person's brow, or you know, the shine on their lips or something, you know, something like that. Oh my god. This part as well, it's almost like a kind of, not a snake charmer, but that kind of idea of like a hypnotic melody, and like it works really well with the fact that they're saying like I'm getting tamed. It's like the idea of like they're okay with it, but it's like the idea of you know, wild animals, or you know, and the idea of then settling down with someone. Is that Spanish? I didn't know there was going to be Spanish. Te quiero? Is that interesting? I mean, it very, having the like the Spanish lyric there, it kind of does kind of make sense with the kind of the vibes of the accompaniment. These lyrics, I can't. Oh my god, you dominate me, I reap under your authority. Oh my god, the first start, that rhyme is really nice. But oh my god. Because reaping, when I think of reaping, it's like I imagine like the Grim Reaper and the kind of the scythe. It's almost like they're clawing at themselves. And at the other person. Obviously, there's that very kind of image of like ripping each other's clothes off, you know, maybe. Maybe I'm reading too much into that, but it definitely feels like that idea of clawing something off. That tone. It's the brightness on the only one like there's a brightness to it, and it makes it sound higher than it is. It's obviously it's just one vocal line, but it's almost like the brightness in it almost makes it sound like there's a higher tone to it. You know, you'd have with like if you had harmonies, it's almost like that, but it's just the one tone. Oh. I love that. Ooh. There's something so sensual about that. Sensual, I said. It's giving like breathless desperation. Just the way, you know, that breathy like tone in it. Just the way the syllables. Oh, this is so cool. It's so good. It's almost a suggestion as well that this kind of love will kill them. I was just thinking about that with that line again that I already was talking about. It's almost like that kind of I love it, but it's like when something's too sickly sweet and you get sick of it, you know, or you get ill because of it, you know, you eat until you're sick. It's that kind of idea of the lust and the love and all that kind of, it becomes too sweet and it becomes too sickly, and so you hope that the other person pulls away because you maybe need a break. Maybe. I also like in the background with the guitar, the kind of little riffs, little motifs. They're not call and response exactly. They're more. They're almost like steps behind the vocals, like they're following the melody, and they're quite melodic themselves. But it's almost like they're leading the song along, leading and like carrying. It's like a dance between the guitar and the vocal line. Yeah, it's almost like that dialogue between two people, the guitar and the vocal line, but they're interjecting, you know, kind of like if you imagine like a really passionate kiss and then like coming up for air and then going, you know, returning to the kiss. It's almost like that kind of feeling. I also like the way that there's almost one tone throughout this song. It doesn't like get louder or quieter or bombastic or calmer. It's very much one tone. And I don't mean that in a negative way, because I know someone saying something couldn't be one tone might be construed in that way. But it feels like there is this harmony throughout this song. Yes, you know, there's moments where it's like, oh, is it getting too sweet for me? Is it getting too much for me? But at the same time, there's this kind of feeling of like perfect balance and reciprocation in the song. When you think again about the kind of the conversation between the accompaniment and the vocals, neither one is trying to overpower the other. It's all very harmonious and synergistic, and so I like that kind of continues throughout. Ooh, that instrument. Interesting. That's such an interesting way, and I love the way that there's that kind of. It's almost like the end of the song is like after being with someone and being with someone in that way. It's almost like that after moment, like that after like it's almost like the musical equivalent of like a like relaxing kind of sigh, if that makes sense. Fading out. I really like that. That was so good. We're gonna head straight into the final song, which is Quarter Life, which is Bongyu, Taehyun, and Hyunin. I can definitely, just even from the fact that Subin and Yeonjun are older, I can definitely see that maturity more. I'm not saying that Bongyu, Taehyun, and Hyunin are not mature, but obviously because they're older, they're naturally going to be more mature in a lot of ways. And they, even in their voices, there's a maturity to them that is different from the maturity that Bongyu, Taehyun, and Hyunin have. So it's going to be interesting hearing how this song, Quarter Life, is going to sound. So let's get into this last song. Yeah, already, I'm not going to say it's immature, but it's a lot more... Just from that opening, dum-da-dum, it's a lot more... It sounds like it's going to be a lot more chaotic. And if we take the kind of idea from the last song of wildness to being tamed, it's almost that idea of still being wild, still being out there, maybe. Sorry, I know I paused really quickly there, but... Okay. Sorry, hang on. I've never heard anyone call their 20s a quarter. I mean, I guess you are a quarter of the way through your life. That's wild. I say that as someone who's older than all of the TXT members. That's wild. God, make me feel old, Bongyu. Oh. Okay, so no, ignore what I said about maturity. This is very mature. You know, this is very, so far, we're very aware of our mortality. Yes, we've got lots of time, but we're very aware in this song. Ooh. I love this grittiness to the drum. I'm paying attention, obviously, to the lyrics. We're talking about, you know, how everyone says, like, these are the best years of your life. You'll regret it when you're older. But the grittiness of the drums and the way that the accompaniment has started to change is very much giving that feeling of, yeah, they're saying that, but that's not my experience. That's not how I'm feeling right now. I ain't happy at all. Yeah, exactly. I'm not happy at all. They're saying all this stuff to me. You know, these are the best years of my life. You know, but it's, how is it when I'm not happy at all? And that's really sad. That's that, you know, like, because it's a feeling that a lot of us feel. I felt that way, and it's nice. And I'm going to say nice. Please bear with me. To hear this, because again, when you think about like all of the success and hard work that they've put into being in TXT, being, you know, and in their respective kind of projects that they've done outside of that, you know, they've put a lot of work in, and it's really kind of sad and humbling. Like, they've done all this and they've got to where they are, and there's still this somber feeling. There's still this unhappiness. And it's so frustrating, especially because, again, they've worked so hard. And I say this for all the members, they've worked so hard, and yet it's like they should be getting their dividends. They should be getting stuff back for that, you know, and they're getting stuff back in terms of success and, you know, fame and appreciation from the fans, from MOA. But it's not the same as making them, because I'm not saying that MOA don't make them happy, but it's not the same as like that internal happiness. And it's sad that they're, you know, Hyunin Kai is literally saying, I am not happy. I ain't happy at all. Ooh. This lyric, I know, I wonder if even this dark tunnel has an end. That is so sad, because we've just been talking about like how long this tunnel is, how long life is, and it's this idea that they're so unhappy that they almost want it to have an end. You know, they talk about here, if I shout, there's only an echo. And I guess it's that idea of, as well, if you're sad, that sadness reverberates throughout your life. And so, again, people saying, like, these are the best years of your life. It doesn't track if that constant echo is you know, sad memories or feeling like this. Oh, did you guys hear that cry in Hyunin Kai's voice? That grit. It's weird to say a cry coming out of grit, but the cry, if you just listen to it, that it's that, you know, as he's vocalizing. Obviously, I'm not saying he sounds like that, but it's that idea of you know, it's like he's yelling at someone. He's not yelling, obviously he's singing, but it's that same kind of vocalization. This is almost giving pop punk vibes, very close. It's pop, but pop punk, pop punk rather than pop. Ooh. I can imagine this at a festival or a live concert. A concert. Concerts are live. But I can imagine this in those settings, and just everyone who's attending who feels the same way, just being able to sing along and kind of like what I was saying about the way Hyun Kai is kind of shouting, again, not shouting, but that kind of same vocalization and emotion, but allowing, like, imagine a stadium filled with people that feel like that, being able to just express that feeling of dejection and unhappiness. And this is going to sound maybe a bit weird, but how beautiful that will sound. Just knowing you're not alone and just hearing that wall of sound coming from both the audience and from the three members. I'm assuming that when they're live, it'll just be the three members too. But just imagine, like, oh. That part as well also reminds me of 5 Seconds of Summer, which isn't a bad thing, but it just feels like that in a good way. Oh, I didn't know that. I love. Okay. I'm just upset. Okay, I completely relate to this as someone who feels like they're very much behind on their own life. I very much relate to this, because you never want to say, like, it's the choices I made that got me here, or that, that put me here, rather than maybe the 3 steps ahead that you think you should be. But I love that there's that determination there, that that Taeyeon is saying, I'm not going to admit, I'm not going to say I fucked it up. Oh, and this bit has so much hope in it. It's like that idea of, like, you can't see the sun from, when you're in the rain, and you have to kind of let the rain pass and the storm pass. In the kind of this song, it's the idea of you've got to let this dark tunnel pass. If you imagine like a large tunnel, this is the tunnel that the power's out in, but then you'll get to another section and the lights will be shining. You'll see the signs to where you need to go. Oh, I love this. I love that. I love that line because there's kind of it's almost oxymoronic, because you've kind of got them talking about life being this tunnel, this tunnel from A to B of your life. And so in a tunnel, you can only follow the tunnel. You can't go left, you can't go right. You can only follow whichever way that tunnel goes. But I like the way that here they're still saying, I don't know where I'm going. You're going to go where you're meant to go in terms of like your life, but you don't know where you're going to go. But and that line of "but we'll walk forward" is exactly that. We'll walk forward because you can only follow the life that you've got, and you can only go down a tunnel that one way. They sounded great, by the way. There's also that kind of that thing with Quarter Life Crisis. It makes it sound like such a long period of time, but when you then contrast it to the very mathematical, you've still got 3/4 of your life left. it makes it seem so small, and it adds to that hope of like you can still do so much, you can still make yourself happy, you can still be content. I love this song. I love that, an answer sheet with no right answer. Because again, when you think about being kind of this age, you know, you have, you know, a lot of people of this age, they've only just come out of education, university, school, whatever. And I love the way that they're saying an answer sheet with no right answer, because obviously we've been told our whole lives, you've got to get the right answer. You've got to show your method. You've got to show you're working out. But life doesn't work like that. Life doesn't work that way. You know, you've got no one has you can't copy someone else's answers. You have to go through your life and make your own choices and go your way and follow your tunnel. Just as someone else has to do that, and you can't, you know, there's no, I can share my answers with you, and, you know, ultimately it's you. But I love the way that it's so hopeful with the next line of, but we'll pull through as if we're wandering. Yeah, I'm just imagining this being like an emotional song for not just the members, but for everyone that has that experience and feeling too. Oh. Is that's how it ends? No. That's such an interesting way to end that song. That's such an interesting way to end that song, because like it's not big, it's not bombastic, it's not like the other songs, for instance, where they've allowed the accompaniment to like play it out. It just ends. And it's almost like, maybe it's like, you could say like they ended it that way because they've gone to, you know, back into kind of the real world, into life, and they're just carrying on, they're just walking forward. You could also say like it's just the fact that like they've expounded and expulsed all of the feelings that they have into the song, and that's the kind of like, they're kind of like you know, let's get going kind of thing. I really like that. Okay, so I think my rankings for this, because I like to do this just on this first listen, I think that it's going to be oh, this is already so long, but I think this is going to be Miracle 1, Quarter Life 2, Deja Vu 3, The Killer 4, and I'll See You There Tomorrow 5. I know it's taken us a long time to get to this point. I'll cut it down as much as I can in editing. But I love this album. This mini album is great. Again, I've said this throughout, and I'm going to try and keep this short here. I think it's amazing the kind of topics and themes that they've delved into this. And yes, they've delved into kind of feelings that are not so happy and not so wee, but they've still tried to put a positive spin or a hopeful spin or a hopeful angle into it. That I hope that they, but also, you know, anyone, whether Moa or just someone randomly getting to hear it, will take that hope and be able to do something with it. I really enjoyed this mini album. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching this whole thing. I know it's going to be long. I will try and cut it down as much as I can. I don't know how much I'll be able to, but thank you guys so much for watching if you've made it this far. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye everyone. Bye.